obviously you guys wanted to win the conference championship and be in the NCAA tournament, but that didn't happen. You're in the NIT now. You got St. Mary's tomorrow. I guess saw that you guys were able to practice a little bit. I guess what's the attitude been? Is it something that these guys are embracing and ready to get to work with?
Well, I mean, Jared, naturally, how much pain and how much hurt our guys had. It's very obvious. Some of you guys felt it too for us. I know that. You're all right there with us. I know that. And there's no denying that, and there's no hiding that. And that's it's one of those games that you'll never forget. The pain and hurt will eventually go away. But right now you have the pain and you have the hurt. And, as I've said so many times, this is winning and losing such a fine line. And what made this a little bit more difficult was kind of way the game, started and ended. We got off to such a horrendous start, and our team fought back and basically seized control of that game. And, on down the stretch, and, I've just got to help us get one more stop, make one more basket, make one more free throw. As simple as it sounds, because that's what it come down to. These didn't go our way, and they had three went their way. And everything gets magnified towards the end. Naturally, if you don't dig yourself such a deep hole, maybe you wouldn't have had to fall back. But, even after getting down, fighting back, there was plenty of opportunities. That's what makes it more difficult. I'll tell you and Josh, they've been in 3 of those championship games. Maybe the other 2, we kind of probably was right there even or fighting from behind, but we probably never had one that we had total control of it. So me and hurt everybody, those 2 guys naturally being a part of 3 of them made it even more difficult. So, it's a time that naturally some healing process that has to go on. We started a little bit that year. It's the first day we could get out and do anything. So we didn't get a lot of practice done, but we started the healing process. And, we was able today to shoot in the arena we play at least. So, knowing our young men, the kind of people they are, that's one thing about athletics. It's ups and downs. And, this was a little different. But, it's a challenge for our young guys. There's no question about that. But knowing who they are and the character they have, our guys will get up and find a way to be ready again.
Hey, Coach, Tom right here. I guess for you guys, back in 2018, you made that run to the Final Four at the NIT. Obviously, it's not the big dance for you guys, but you're back in this situation, a chance to make a run again. What starts tomorrow night against St. Mary's?
Well, it does. As we all know, it's a whole different situation. Like you said, we came out, I guess, that championship game in 2018. We started off at home. We started off at home against Boston College, wasn't it? So we had the benefits of our fans to help get us going, and ACC home opponent that I don't think it ever hadn't happened very often. One coming in the diddle, so there's a little bit some artificial motivation that came with that to start it off. And once you get that first one behind you, then you get out of your system some. I think most people going into the NIT, there's two different types of teams. There's teams who are disappointed, they're in it. Then there's teams who are happy to be in it. There's some teams didn't even think they were going to be in NIT, who are happy to be playing. Then there's some that's disappointed not in the NCAA tournament, has to play. So that's kind of the difference. We're one of those disappointed. If you can win that first one, as time goes on, there's a healing process that takes place. And, this year, it's, you just got to win 4 to win that championship or get that championship game. Only 16 teams in it this year compared to 32 in the past. So, but the biggest one is that first one. And I think you asked a question about St. Mary's, Tyler, too. They're like always very skilled. Go spread that floor. Probably don't shoot it like some teams have shot it in the past. You'll remember it was probably 218 that came into our place. And that year they were really, really, really good. They were probably a top 25 team. But they had a couple of different players there. The forward kid who could really shoot it, had a big center, had a 4 guy. It's not there now. But Kuzma is a point guard. Going to play 36 minutes a game and kind of keeps that ball in his hand. Just one of those clever guys, and got good players around him to go control that pace. Try to keep the game in the 60s. So not like they have been in the past where they really want to play fast and shoot bunches of threes. And like I said earlier, this is probably the not as good a three-point shooting teams he's had there in the past.
Coach Fred Calgill, WKY, how do you, this tests obviously, the soul of your team. What do you say to these guys to try to tell them that you've got to get back up again?
Well, Fred, there's no words you can do or say to get rid of the pain and hurt. You just got to know that. That's number one. I think the biggest thing is that we all had to, waddle around a little bit yesterday. Yesterday was our first really team meeting and getting with each other and being able to talk about things. And there's nothing wrong, some guys who are emotional, getting that out of your system stuff. You got to start that healing process somewhere. And, it's really the first time we've been out of those hotel rooms. You've been locked up in a room by yourself for last, 36 hours or whatever it was until yesterday. So, we talked about a lot of different things. You couldn't hide the obvious. We all know the disappointment. We all know the hurt. But again, we're one of, 75% of the team still in the country are home. They're still home. And I won't let one game determine the identity of this team and the success of this team. They won a championship. You guys had a great year. Yeah, it comes down to 365 days playing one game sometimes in this league. But again, I'm not going to let that one game, as disappointed as we all are, be the identity of this team. This team, like you said, anytime you win a championship, hey, that's special. This team played in a lot of big games, won a lot of big games. So can't see all that right now. As days go on, you'll look back and, some of these other things that you did will come to the forefront a little bit. But you can't try to hide it or cover it. We all know what the obvious is right now. And understanding that, you got to get back up in life. It's never easy. It's one of those lessons in life again, guys. And I've said this all along about college young men that play athletics, any sport. That's the one thing sports does. It teaches you a lot more than just the sport itself. And we got taught another hard lesson. Yeah, but knowing the character of my guys, how they are, how they've been, they'll find a way to get back up off that mat again, be ready to go.
Hey, Coach, this is Nick Keyser from the College Heights Herald. You kind of have already touched on the player attitude, I guess, since you guys are in your bubble and you just saw each other yesterday. But what really stands out to you about what the guys were kind of talking about yesterday, maybe?
Well, there wasn't a whole lot of talking yesterday, Nick. It was more probably myself talking yesterday. It was a time for some guys to, be back with their teammates, in front of their teammates. And everybody's seeing the hurt and the pain. And like I said earlier, there's nothing wrong with showing emotion. There's nothing wrong with releasing emotion. And yesterday was a big day for that. And again, guys who don't have hurt and pain or emotion, what we went through, you're probably in the wrong profession, playing the wrong sport. I don't know what other sports make you do, but that was, you guys put everything you have into it for 364 days. And there's one day that, if you allow it to, yes, it all comes down to one game. To feel like you had reach your total goals. And, that's not hiding that. Our goal was to get to the tournament. It comes down to that one game. And what made it hurt more, as all you guys know, was the way it finished. Sometimes, getting beat always hurts. How you get beat sometimes hurts more. And I think that's where we was at in that ladder.
Coach, this is Hunter Smith with WBKU. Charles re-aggravated that back injury in the tournament, but how is he doing getting ready for tomorrow's matchup?
Charles, I guess that was a UAB game. I can't even remember. Yeah, I think it was UAB game. He did. No, San Antonio game. You're right. San Antonio game. He did it and got him back up. He got back up, able to fight through again against UAB and fought through it again. He's stiff and sore, but again, he was able to play through it after he hurt it. Played 2 games since he hurt it, so he's had a little bit more rest now. Last couple of days and today, so he'll be fine. As I told my players too, guys, don't ever blame each other. Players win games, coaches lose games. And that's the way I always approach it. So don't ever blame each other for that. If you ever want to blame anybody, always blame the coach for something. Don't ever blame each other. You guys stay together and stick together.
Coach, this is Nick again. I guess with that being said, just kind of thinking about it this way, for you personally, what do you think is something that you would maybe want to change differently? Obviously, the result was what it was on the championship game, but for you personally, what do you take on yourself moving forward now to do better?
Well, naturally, I wouldn't want to go behind 17-0, Nick. Okay. I wouldn't want that at all. From that point on, they had 7 points first 15 minutes, second half. Not a lot more we could have done defensively. I just got to help us not go over one more time, make one more basket, or make one more free throw. Fine line. And any of those 3 combinations, have been a different result. So, any of those 3 things, like I said, got to help us get better at it, Nick. There's one other thing here too that I want to address. Not for you guys to find out tomorrow night. And make sure everybody understands this. If there is a team guy, ultimate team guy, it's Carson Williams. Everybody understand that. He's the ultimate team guy. For y'all that don't know it, he's got an NFL combine coming up or NFL pro day coming up. He's going to try to play pro football. And he's got his combine and his pro day coming up 1st April. So, and he addressed it when we talked about it, and he would have done whatever we want him to do. Want him to make him stay and play in this, we would have. We weren't going to do that for him. He has an opportunity, to go do this, and if he stay and play with us, it's going to put him behind doing what he really needs to focus on to get ready for this combine. So we're going to be without him tomorrow night. But make sure everybody understands this. Hey, he didn't opt out. He didn't walk away. None of that. It was all, man, doing what's best for Carson, us helping Carson do what's best for Carson right now with this pro day and his combine coming up. Like I said, he's the ultimate team guy if you've ever had one.
Any more questions?